everyone, I'm Lisa Crine, and today on CrineCam, I'm teaching you how to use Videoscribe. Now, Videoscribe is an awesome piece of software that's used by teachers and trainers, anybody who wants to create a video, and these are called whiteboard animations, or some people might call them drawing hand videos. So if you've ever seen a video of a hand that's kind of drawing a picture of something or writing out letters and words, they're a really great thing to have in a training arsenal so that you can explain difficult concepts. I've used it professionally to create videos on how vesting works in a 401k or how health insurance works, the difference between basic and traditional plans. It's really a great tool to use to explain difficult, hard to understand concepts. So this is part one of a 3-part series. Part one today, I'm going to walk you through what Videoscribe is and really just show you around the canvas, kind of what the tools look like. Part two, I'm going to actually animate some things, and we're going to start putting together our animations and lining up our timing, things like that. And in part three, I'm going to show you how to tie it all together with audio and get it produced and shared. So let's dive right into part one of our tutorial. Okay, so here we are at the Videoscribe homepage, and something I want to mention. One of the reasons I really like Videoscribe, I'm on the buy page right now. I am in no way affiliated with Videoscribe, but the reason that I chose it is because you can try it. So you can work with it for a month, you can work with it for a year, or you can just go ahead and buy the license if you really like it. So personally, we use it at my company for about a month at a time every year to produce one video. So we just buy the monthly license. But if you want to purchase the entire package, you can go ahead and do that one-off user license. Now they do offer a 7-day free trial period, so you can always try it for 7 days. And then if you like it, you can go ahead and choose from here. But I do like the option to kind of scale it to whatever your needs are. Now, once you do purchase it, you can move on to your account page and you can download it from here and install the program. So I'm going to go ahead and click download and install it on this computer. It's not a difficult download. You download for Windows or download for Mac. And I'm going to save it to my desktop and go ahead and run this, and then I'll jump in as soon as it's installed. Okay, so we've downloaded the software, and then you just log into it using the same username and password that you used to create your account. So this is kind of the repository for where your scribes are going to be. Every time you create something, it's called a scribe. So you can create many of them, and they're all just going to kind of live in this home screen. So I'm going to click Create a New Scribe over on the left-hand side. And it brings me to a blank canvas. And really that's what I want to explain in this video, is what this canvas is all about. So I'm going to kind of go through everything that you see here on the screen. So in the top left-hand corner, you have your back button, which is going to take you back to that repository we were just at. You've got a save button, and then you've got a cut, copy, and paste. So the save is going to obviously save whatever scribe you're working on. Cut, copy, and paste is going to cut, copy, and paste your elements. So we're going to get into elements in a minute. And basically this is just a piece of your animation. Every time that you have something, one person or some text on the screen, that's called an element. So you can cut and paste those anywhere within your scribe that you wish. So that's the top left. So now let's go to the top right-hand side. So the first icon there is your music. You can add music to your scribe at any time if you want some background music. Now you'll notice that there's dots next to the music. If you sort by calm to heavy or heavy to calm, you'll see that the ones that have these 4 dots are really heavy. So they're loud, they bang around a lot, it's just very fast paced. And then if I sort by calm to heavy, I have some that are more of 1 dot, this little bluish colored dot. And that usually is very soft, relaxing music if you want something soft and relaxing in the background. So you can always sort by those depending on the mood of your video that you want. The second icon in here is your microphone. So you can go ahead and record a microphone with this. Now, I recommend not using the computer microphone if you want to get better microphone quality, buying something that actually plugs into the microphone jack. And if you have an iPhone, they usually come with a cable that has a microphone attached. That is a really great thing to use. So if you can find a pair of headphones that has a microphone attached to it, that is a great option for being able to record actually good quality a mic on this. Now, the next icon over is your paper color and texture. If you've seen these before, they're usually on a white background because they're like a white board. But what you can do is you can change, let's say I kind of like this color, so it kind of looks more like a ribbed paper. And what's nice is I can change the color of that. So maybe your company has more of a blue, your logo is blue, everything you do is blue. You can change it to blue, and now your paper is going to be blue, or you can just have the blue background here. So I'm going to change it back to white. And there's also an option to do a vignette. So if you want a hard vignette, you want that really kind of black around the outside, you can choose that. Or you can have a soft vignette, and it's very light gray on the kind of on the outside. I'm going to choose none because I really just want it to look like whiteboard animation, like we're drawing on a whiteboard. Now the hand here is where you can change the default drawing hand. So sometimes you may want to have everything move in without a hand attached, or you just want it to be written without a hand actually writing it out. So you can always change the hand here if maybe you want no hand, or maybe you want a zipper as your default hand. I'm going to leave it as the one that's defaulted here, where you can see that it's actually drawing out my letters, drawing out my words, and it's going to draw the pictures as well. Now, over here, you have an option to play from start, and this one that's grayed out next to it is play from whichever one is selected. We're eventually going to have lots of pieces in the timeline that's down at the bottom. So you can always click on one and just play from selected. This is really useful if you have a long animation. So maybe you have 100 elements down at the bottom and you really just want to play from a certain point and look at how it's going, so you can play from that particular element. Now, when it's time to share this animation and it's time for you to download it to a video file, you use this button right here, which is where you download or publish. And once you do this, I have to add some things to my canvas first. Once you click on this, you have options to share it to Facebook or share it to YouTube. You can save it as different file types. So that's a really great thing. And then of course, you have an about and a help section if you need some help. Now, I've kind of explained everything at the top. The bottom is really where you're going to be living. So you have a left arrow and a right arrow down at the bottom. In between these, all of your elements are going to show up. So your people, your letters, your words, they're all going to show up down at the bottom in that white space. So I'm going to go ahead and add something. And the way that I do that is with this guy right here, add new image. Now, as you can see, when I clicked it, there's a search box at the top that came up where I can search for things like coin or money or tree, whatever item you want to put in there. There's also a list of categories though. So let's say I wanted to look for a male person. I can click people male, and I can see all people that they categorize as male. So you'll notice that there's different age groups in here, there's different skin tones, and I can kind of scroll through to find the person that I'm looking for. So in this case, I'm gonna search for an older gentleman, and I just want him standing on the screen smiling. This guy at the bottom looks great. I'm gonna click him, and he's going to appear on the screen. So you can see now that that's my very first thing was added to the timeline. So there's my little guy down at the bottom. Now, if I want to see what he looks like when he's drawn, again, I can push this play button at the top. If it's selected, it will play from that icon, from that item. If it's not selected and I hit this play from start, it's going to play from whatever the very first one is. But since it's the only one on there, that's really all that matters. So I'm going to hit play. And you can see there's a hand and he's drawing this guy. And he's going to eventually color him in. So there's my guy. So that picture icon is what adds your things to the screen. Any pictures that you want, any pictures that you want to pull in from the web, you can always use this web. Any pictures you have on your computer that you want to pull in, you can use this kind of import icon. Now let's say you want text. You want him saying, "Hello there, my name is Tom." That's where this text icon comes in. So I'm going to add text, and I'm going to write "hello there," and I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to write "my name is Tom." Now I want it to be centered. If I click yes right now, kind of that check mark, it's not centered, it's left aligned. So I can always double click it, go back to edit text, and I can center it. And now it's centered, the top text is centered with the bottom text. So now you'll see there's two things on the timeline. So again, if I wanted it to play from hello there, my name is Tom, I would select it down at the bottom and I would hit this play from current element. If I wanted it just to play from the beginning, I could hit this play from beginning tool. Now, watch what happens when I play from the beginning. It's going to draw my man. He's centered on the screen. And then it's going to go ahead and write that text out. And you'll notice it zoomed in and it's centered on the text. I don't really want it to do that. What I want it to do is write it all where I can see it together. So that's where this next button down at the bottom comes in useful. It's called the Set the Camera Angle. So I'm going to select both of these, and to do that I'm going to click the first one, I'm going to hold that Shift key, and I'm going to click the second one. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to move it to, I want it to look at right like that. So I want it to write everything from this angle as I'm looking at it. So I've selected my two elements down at the bottom, and now I'm going to click this button that says Set the Camera to the Current Position. Now watch what happens when I play from the beginning. It's going to draw my guy, just like it did before, and then it's not going to zoom in on the text. It's simply going to write the text next to it because I told the camera to stay at this current position. So it's a really nice tool to have when you want it to just go from a certain position. So I'm going to zoom back out to where I was. We've talked about how to add pictures. We've talked about how to add text. If you want to add a graph or a chart, you can do this, and it'll add a chart depending on whatever values you give it. There's not a lot of information that you can add here, but you can create a little table in here. I would recommend just creating a picture of a chart, maybe in Excel or a different program if you wanted to create a chart or a bar graph or a pie graph, and then just pulling it in and importing it, because the functionality of this add chart isn't great, but if you just needed to show some basic numbers or basic figures, this will work for you. So I've set my camera position with these. Now, if I click these, you'll notice that there's a camera with an X that's removed the camera position. So if I want to clear it out and I want it to instead zoom back in on the text like it was at the beginning, I would click that. Now, the last one is an eyeball. So you'll notice hello there, my name is Tom is written. There's an eyeball here too. If I don't want to see that, so maybe I just want to hide it and I want to try something else there in its place, but I still want to keep this around in case I want to use it later, I can click that eyeball and it hides the element. Now, the reason that this eyeball is over here is because I can unhide all of our elements. So if you hide a bunch of things on the screen, you can unhide it with that icon, or if you just want to unhide one of them, you can click this and it'll show it. Now there are a few more buttons here I just want to touch on before we move on to our next tutorial, and that's these kind of up and down buttons at the bottom. When it's time for me to transition from hello there, my name is Tom, to whatever the next thing is I want to animate, I want to move the screen somehow. So I want to move this canvas. Now, personally, I like my image to move up, and then you see the next image below it that's being animated. So what I do is I hit this up arrow, and it's going to move hello there, my name is Tom up. And then eventually, I'm going to put somebody else below him. So maybe I want to put a woman below him, a person, female, and this is the lady I want to use. I'm going to make her a little bit bigger. I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to have her say, hello there, my name is Cindy. And I'm going to have that text centered as well, and I move that to the side. Now I want to set Cindy's camera position, so I'm going to click on Cindy here, and I'm going to hold the Shift key and click on hello there, my name is Cindy, and I'm going to hit the set camera position. Now let me show you what this does. I'm going to play this from the beginning. So it's going to draw Tom, and if you're thinking, wow, it's taken a really long time to draw him, in the next video I'm going to show you how to take that time down. So then it's going to write hello there, my name is Tom, and then it's going to move down and it's going to draw Cindy and write hello there, my name is Cindy. So those up arrow, left arrow, right arrow, and down arrow buttons are how you get from one scene to another. It's how you transition using Videoscribe. I'm going to show you a lot more about animations in the next video. If you like this video and you want to learn more about tech training, tips, and tricks, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And tell me in the comments what I can teach you in my future videos. Thanks so much. I'll see you in part 2.